Thank you for listening to Planet Radio at Amateur Radio Network. This is our final post. We've done our student work, and I really wanted to wrap it up here, but we may do some more independent stuff, but we are pulling all of our stuff off. If you would like to join or become a member of the Court of Public Opinion, please do so, and the information will be in the description box. We have to end our student project here because, one, it's a student project, and obviously there's projects that we've worked on, okay? And we've offered suggestions, even offered our personally help. And doing a light talk music segment like this, to me, matters a lot, especially if we're trying to create an environment. We have a coffee business. That's why we have a radio show, because I figured, why not do a talk show and sell coffee? So I have to get back to work. And one of the things I have to do is I got to set up my business, and I have t-shirts to order, and I have inventory, and I have to keep up with it. And I also have another job. So doing radio on top of that is a lot on my plate. And doing the student project allowed me an opportunity to become more familiar with the talk show side of it, because I've done background. I've learned how to do video production. I know how to do a little bit on stage. I know a little bit about everything on this regarding setting up a radio station, okay? And doing a radio station by, according to FCC rules, and there's a lot of licensing stuff. I've gone through programs and go to school. I've taken voice coaching. I've done a lot to get to where I'm at. And I've even sent and blew up my closest friends and family that I'm really close to, a couple people, just maybe two or three, just show them what we've been able to accomplish here. But this has to end here. We may continue this post and some updates from time to time, but I have to do all independent. I can't be on any schedule or rotation because this is my last day, and I had to phase it off, and I will do updates when I can. But I don't know that I can promise anymore, because I am juggling a hectic schedule now, 2 jobs. But I do want to stay with the radio page because we do have a coffee business, and that's why I decided to do the coffee and news and radio. That was the whole point to it. It was no other reason. There was no grand magical thing. I just want to be able to offer my customers some talk radio when they come and they buy coffee. And to me, I think that because I've gone through the tireless work. I started out at 14 washing dishes and selling newspapers. So it's kind of weird that I ended up here, I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 in a few months. And I need to plan for my retirement or plan my future. And this is the way I decided to go about it. And I went through a lot of red tape. I went through a lot of hassle just to get bills paid, okay? And I came through some situations recently, especially even last night. I didn't have any heat in my home. And I've struggled. And I've offered some of my ideas to other people, and they've blown it off. I got to pay bills, okay? That's why we do what we do. Yeah, it costs money to keep an operation together, but that's why we support ourselves. We do the t-shirts, and we do small fundraising projects that are a lot on anyone. But that's how we support ourselves, okay? Otherwise, we'll have a membership page or things like that where, I'm not going to get into asking people for money. I don't like doing that. The only time I ever want to fundraise is when it's an emergency, because a lot of people don't recognize this, but disaster relief, the only way to get people out of trouble is do fundraising. We've been very successful at it. Sadly, under the most enormous difficult situation that we could ever personally encounter. I've run into opposition, attitudes. I've run into all kinds of things. People using, it just seems like when money's involved, all those things come out in the woodwork. We support ourselves. And it's very hard to even keep up with what we have. My electric was out last night, or has been, my heat has been out. It's really hard to function like that. We are in a position right now where we take whatever we've done, learn from it, and do better at it. I'm not saying what we ever accomplished on talk radio or whatever we've tried to accomplish here was perfect. We offer it as a learning, educational tool. We cannot go out there and claim I'm like a YouTube reporter. It doesn't make sense. I actually have a press pass. I have to wear that press pass. I have to pay for it. Okay? If I go up to some of these events and I go out to a public event and I tell them I'm a YouTube reporter, they'll just look at me and roll their eyes at me. So it costs money, and there's rules I have to obey by, okay? There's laws, and I have to pay for that. And I have to pay for the licensing, and I have to go through a lot of red tape to keep my business going, or I'm going to be homeless, okay? That's how it really is. And unfortunately, I cannot trust or rely on anyone. I decided to start a business because I've ran into employers that would unfairly put you in situations, or me, not you per se, but me, into a situation where I was already in a difficult situation and they made it just that much harder. I've met some people that really, really, really think they're doing the best thing for me. Possibly. I appreciate it, but I don't want anyone looking out for us, okay? We have our own business. We have our own family. And at the end of the day, I'm done. I've done talk radio. I've tried to put together a great thing here. And to me, if we don't have support, we don't have support. If I can't get onto the airwaves, or if I can't get legitimate people behind me, then this is worthless. All this time I invested would be a waste. And I really don't believe that. I really believe we've invested our time with our audience and the people that do listen, because I know they need information. And they need it accurate. I'm not always going to have all the information there, but I'm going to do my best to collect and do whatever fact finding or whatever I can. But I'm one person here. I mean, I can't even get my own sister to return a phone call. Okay? So I don't always have very reliable people around me that I can count on. I count on some of you. You know what? I have a few friends that have helped me literally through surgery. The only way, and I don't want to ever overpromise, the only way I could ever pay some of my friends back, which I don't think that's what required here, is that we could do the best we can with what we got. And all we have is today. It's one day at a time. I don't know if I'll be able to put an update. I like to think that I could keep these updates and get to church and get my job ready, because I got to be ready for work on Monday. So to me, I have to get my work together. But the whole purpose behind Planet Radios is because I have a coffee business, and it's a small little gig. I don't make enough money to even really invest what I've already invested. I will never get back what I've invested financially. I've invested thousands and thousands of dollars into this. And I don't have a lot of reliable people. So when I'm looking to hire, I'm looking, are they reliable? Because I don't want anybody that's not going to show up for their shift. I know there's things that happen. I know that people run into problems, but I don't want to deal with managers or employees that just will give me the runaround. I've been through enough that it's cost me thousands of dollars to get where I'm at. And I was homeless, and I was struggling, and I was poor too. And I didn't always have nice people I grew up with, and I didn't always have nice people that gave me the benefit of the doubt. I'm always willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. That's a one-time role. And what we've done here at Planet Radio is that we've created an environment where we can sell coffee and do a talk show in a Moonlight Lounge. And I did that at 103.3 FM and 1370 AM in Charlotte last year. I came up here because my family was in the middle of emergency. It's nothing personal, but when my family's in emergency and I have people that offer and extend their help and have done me wrong in the process, I don't want nothing to do with you. You had no business ever inviting yourself into my life, okay? My family's in the middle of a crisis. My family doesn't get along as it is. Could you imagine how difficult this was? Okay, so I have no time for people who are going to offer them help only to put us in a worse situation. I have no time for that. That happened last year. It's behind us. There are a lot of things I have to put behind us. Okay, we have had crisis after crisis. And if there's anyone that knows anything about fundraising, it is me. I learned the hard way. We had to snap it together. Luckily, we had the support of a local TV station, WPXI, here in Pittsburgh, and we had the support of just a few individuals, and some people came out and helped my family. In the worst time of our life, we almost lost 4 kids in a car accident over texting and driving. So yeah, we have an important message, but the whole point to what I've done at Planet Radio, I've been doing this for about 10 years, okay? So it didn't happen like, as you know. But I started in radio at 20, and I was told even at 30 and 35, I would never make it in radio. I can at least say here that I did make it, and I proved those idiots wrong, and I've dealt with those people. I learned the hard way. I'm going to make they made an example out of me, but guess what? When I got that job and I've worked in radio, I was told I would never make it. Guess what? I did make it. So that's how I say, you are an overcomer. You do not need, if you have people like this around you, that should drive you and motivate you. Because you know what? I'm here to tell you that was what drove me. And I was not going to just give up. Never give up. That's my message. Never quit. Never give up. Just because people say things and they have, some kind of job title, that doesn't mean anything. I know a lot of people right now, as poor as we are, as stuck as we've been. You know what? It's not about money. It's about value. You value your friends, you value others, and you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, then that's great. But don't be surprised if people let you down. I'm not here looking for people who are going to be able to promise me a lot. I don't want to hear people overcommit themselves and then get burned out. People overcommit themselves in social media. I don't know what we signed up for. I don't know what we signed up for YouTube, but it's not worth all this. So I'm going to go back to my job. I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to keep up from time to time. I'll even do radio posts because that's what we started out. But I will say this, never quit on yourself. A lot of people say a lot of things are never true. And they owe you an apology and they owe some of us an apology. I'm not waiting around for their apology. I'm done with them. I'm done listening to all the audience and the critics out there. They won't ever give you a hand. They won't ever give you $1. There's tightwads. A lot of these people have been tight with me too, cheap and low, and made some really unfair debates or unfair attacks towards us. Never one time ever called us, ask how we're doing. But the only time you find out about these people, they show up when things are rough. They want to see what you're up to. It's all, and I heard everything. It's one thing to talk about gossip. It's another thing to discuss something, to me, is tragic. There's a national tragedy that people are willing to overlook. That's their deal. I'm done. We've addressed a lot of things. If you want to become a member of the Court of Public Opinion, that's great. One thing I like to think that when we serve coffee to our veterans, because I'm a veteran, we're a veteran-owned operated program, okay? We have a coffee shop. That's all we do. And I offer talk radio on top of it. And I might be able to get somebody off the street and help them with a few bucks. And that's what I do. I do. If you knew who I really was, you would never, ever question what I've tried to do. I've given of my own personal money. No, not one time have those people offered a hand. When they came into cash, no. They never helped us in return. I'm about this. You help me, I help you. That's it. And I listen, because I can't pay for everybody's bills. I can't put gas in my car. I can't fix other people's problems. I'll offer when I can help, but I even have to say no to that. We've been burned. I mean, we were robbed. I've robbed thousands of dollars. Property I can never pay back. I can never financially afford. We're robbed of equipment. We're robbed of a lot of things. But you know what? At the end of the day, I have me. We still have our business. We barely survived that too. So if you want to become a member of the Court of Public Opinion, you want to join in our coffee talk segment, thanks. I appreciate that. We're also at Vimeo. Thank you.